At a family dinner, my parents praised my sibling and shamed me. 3 years later, I refused financial help, proving wealth changes respect permanently. You know, if you'd applied yourself like your brother, maybe you wouldn't be such a disappointment. My mother's words hung in the air like poison gas at the family dinner table. Everyone froze. Hey viewers, before we move on to the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you want to see more stories like this. I'm 28, sitting across from my golden child brother at our parents' anniversary celebration, and I just realized something that would change everything. I wasn't angry anymore. I was done. My brother Daniel shifted uncomfortably in his seat, looking down at his plate. Dad cleared his throat. Your mother's just saying you could do better. Daniel's got the corner office now. What do you have? I took a slow sip of water. What did I have? A software startup they knew nothing about, growing faster than I'd ever imagined. But I learned long ago not to share my wins with them. I'm doing fine, I said quietly. Mom laughed, that particular laugh she reserved for my failures. Fine. You're 30 next year, and you're still renting that tiny apartment. Daniel just bought a house in Riverside Estates. Daniel finally spoke up. Mom, can we not? Don't defend him, Dad interrupted. He needs to hear this. We're not getting younger. We won't always be here to bail you out. The irony burned. They'd never bail me out of anything. Every stumble, every setback, I'd handled alone. Daniel got the college fund. I got community college and student loans. Daniel got the car for graduation. I got a lecture about responsibility. Daniel got seed money for his business ideas that all failed. I got told to be realistic. And now Daniel worked for someone else in middle management while I stopped that thought. Let them think what they wanted. My Aunt Patricia tried to change the subject. So, how's work going for both of you? Daniel jumped on it. Really good actually. Got promoted to senior manager last month. 15% raise. Everyone erupted in congratulations. Mom actually teared up. We're so proud of you, honey. Then all eyes turned to me. And you? Patricia asked kindly. She'd always been nicer to me than my parents. Same old. Software development. Pays the bills. Mom sighed dramatically. He does computer stuff? We don't really understand it. She'd never tried to understand it. Not once. Not when I won a coding competition at 19. Not when I built their entire home network system for free. Not when I tried to explain my passion for creating things from nothing but logic and imagination. Dad cut his steak with more force than necessary. Daniel's making $85,000 now. That's real success. I nodded. That's great, Daniel. And I meant it. My brother wasn't the problem. He'd actually tried to share credit with me over the years, tried to tell our parents about my accomplishments. They just never listened. You could work at Daniel's company, Mom suggested brightly. He could put in a good word. Daniel's face went red. I don't think that's. What a wonderful idea. Mom continued. Working together, Daniel could mentor you. I was 3 years older than Daniel. I had a master's degree he didn't have. I taught him how to code when he was in high school. I'm good where I am, I said. Dad shook his head. Pride. That's your problem. Too much pride to accept help from family. The word help almost made me laugh. Where was help when I was eating ramen for months to afford textbooks? Where was help when my laptop died junior year and I had to use library computers? Where was help when I had walking pneumonia and still went to work because I couldn't afford to miss a shift? But Daniel got help buying his first car. Daniel got help with his down payment. Daniel got help with everything. I don't need help, I said simply. Mom's expression turned cold. You've always been stubborn, refusing to listen to people who know better. Know better about what? The question came out sharper than I intended. Dad pointed his fork at me. Watch your tone. We're trying to help you make something of yourself. I have made something of myself. Have you? Mom challenged. What exactly have you accomplished? 3 employees now. Revenue hitting 7 figures this year. 2 patent applications filed. A product that solved real problems for real people. But I said none of it. I'm happy. That's an accomplishment. Dad actually laughed. Happiness doesn't pay bills. Happiness doesn't build wealth. You think Daniel got where he is by chasing happiness? Daniel set down his fork. Actually, Dad, I'm pretty miserable at work most days. Everyone stared at him. What are you talking about? Mom demanded. You just got promoted. To a job I hate. Managing people I can't stand. Sitting in meetings that accomplish nothing. He looked at me. At least you enjoy what you do. Dad dismissed this with a wave. That's just work, son. Nobody loves their job. But you're building something. Security. A future. Is he though? I asked quietly. All eyes snapped to me. What's that supposed to mean? Dad's voice carried a warning. Nothing. Forget it. But Mom wouldn't let it go. No, Say what you mean. You always do this. These little comments. These implications that you're somehow better than us. Better than them. I'd spent my entire life feeling less than. Less loved. Less valued. Less worthy of their time and attention. I never said I was better. You don't have to say it. Your attitude says everything. Mom's voice rose. We give Daniel praise because he's earned it. He worked hard. He made good choices. He didn't waste years on pipe dreams. There it was. The real issue. When I told them about starting my company 4 years ago, Dad had called it a pipe dream. Mom had asked when I'd grow up and get a real job. Daniel had been the only one who said congratulations. You're right, I said, standing up. Daniel made good choices. I'm happy for him. Where are you going? Mom asked. We're not done eating. I am. Thanks for dinner. Patricia caught my arm as I passed. Don't let them get to you, she whispered. They don't see what I see. I smiled at her. What do you see? Someone who's going to surprise everyone. If only she knew I already had. I drove home in silence, refusing to let the familiar pain settle in my chest. This used to destroy me. Their disappointment used to feel like the end of the world. Now it just felt like background noise. My phone buzzed. Daniel. Hey, I'm sorry about tonight. That was bad even for them. It's fine. It's not fine. They were way out of line. I pulled into my apartment complex. The tiny apartment they love to mock. Daniel, can I tell you something? Of course. Do you remember that startup I mentioned 4 years ago? The one they called a pipe dream? Silence. Then, yeah, we're doing pretty well. Really well, actually. More silence. How well? Well enough that I could buy your house in Riverside Estates with cash and still have plenty left over. He didn't speak for a long moment. Are you serious? Dead serious. We hit our first $1 million in revenue last year. We're on track to triple that this year. Holy shit. Why didn't you tell them? That was the question, wasn't it? Because I learned a long time ago that my accomplishments don't matter to them unless those accomplishments look like what they think success should look like. Daniel sighed. They'd be proud if they knew. Would they? Or would they find a way to make it about something I'm still doing wrong? He couldn't argue that. Because we both knew the truth. What are you going to do, he asked. Nothing. Keep building. Keep growing. Live my life. You're not going to tell them? Maybe someday. When I'm ready. When it won't feel like I'm begging for their approval. For what it's worth, Daniel said quietly, I'm proud of you. I always have been. Those words hit harder than I expected. Thanks, man. That means a lot. And hey, I really do hate my job. Any chance you're hiring? I laughed. You serious? Completely. I take a pay cut to work on something I actually care about. Let me think about it. But yeah, maybe. After we hung up, I sat in my car for a while. The apartment building in front of me wasn't fancy, but it was in a good neighborhood, rent-controlled, and it gave me the flexibility to invest every spare dollar into the company. My parents saw failure. I saw strategy. 3 months passed. Daniel did come work for me, taking a small pay cut, but gaining equity. He was happier than I'd seen him in years. We didn't tell our parents about the job change. He just said he'd switched companies. They barely asked questions. The company kept growing. We hired 2 more developers, moved into a real office space, landed our first enterprise client. Then came Thanksgiving. I almost didn't go, but Patricia had called personally, asking me to come. Your mother's been making comments about how you and Daniel both missed the last 2 family dinners. Just come. Keep the peace. So I went. Keep the peace. The story of my life. I arrived to find Daniel already there, looking nervous. They're in rare form today, he warned. Mom's been drinking wine since noon. Great. Inside, the familiar scene unfolded. Mom in the kitchen, orchestrating everything. Dad in his chair, watching football. Aunts and uncles scattered throughout, making small talk. Look who decided to show up. Mom called out when she saw me. The stranger. Hi, Mom. Don't hi, Mom me. You miss family dinners for months and then show up like nothing's wrong. I've been busy with work. Dad snorted from his chair. Busy. Right. Doing what exactly? Here we go. Just projects. Nothing exciting. Mom brought out a tray of appetizers. Daniel's been busy too. Really busy. But he makes time for family. Daniel shot me an apologetic look. We made it through appetizers and small talk. Then, during dinner, Dad made an announcement. So, your mother and I have some news. Everyone quieted down. We're selling the house. Downsizing. Moving to a condo in Florida. Murmurs of surprise around the table. When? Patricia asked. Next spring. We've already put the house on the market. Mom jumped in. It's time. The house is too big. Too much maintenance. And frankly, we could use the equity. Dad nodded. The thing is, the housing market isn't great right now. We might not get what we hoped. I saw where this was going. We talked to a financial advisor. Mom continued. With what we'll get from the house and our retirement accounts, we should be fine. But it'll be tight. Silence around the table. Everyone was doing math in their heads. The reason we're bringing this up, Dad said, looking directly at Daniel, is we wanted you to know we won't be able to help out like we used to. No more emergency money. No more loans. Daniel nodded slowly. I understand. I'm doing fine though. Are you? Mom asked. You changed jobs. You took a pay cut. Are you sure you're okay financially? I'm sure. Because we worry. You gave up such a good position. Daniel glanced at me, then back at them. I gave up a job that was killing my soul for one that actually means something. Dad frowned. Meaning doesn't pay the mortgage, son. My mortgage is paid. I'm fine. Mom turned to me then. And you? I suppose you're fine too? I am. Still at that little tech job? Still in tech, yeah. Well, just so you know, we can't help you either. I know we've never really had to, since you've always been so independent. The way she said independent made it sound like a character flaw. But I'm telling you now, officially, we're done being a bank for our kids. Okay. That's all you have to say. I shrugged. I wasn't planning on asking for money, so okay. Dad's jaw tightened. You know, a little gratitude would be nice. Your mother and I worked hard our whole lives. We helped Daniel when he needed it. We've offered to help you countless times, and you've thrown it back in our faces with that pride of yours. I set down my fork carefully. What help did you offer me, Dad? Specifically, are you kidding me right now? No, I'm genuinely asking. What help did you offer me that I threw back in your face? Mom jumped in. We offered to talk to Daniel's boss about getting you an interview. We offered advice about your career. You offered advice I didn't ask for and opportunities that weren't right for me. I'm asking about actual help. Money. Support. The kind you gave Daniel. The table went silent. Patricia looked uncomfortable. Other relatives suddenly found their plates fascinating. How dare you, Mom hissed. After everything we've done. What have you done? The question came out calm. Too calm. For me specifically. What have you done? Dad stood up. I'm not going to sit here and be disrespected in my own home. I'm not disrespecting you. I'm asking a question you can't answer. Get out. Daniel stood too. Dad, come on. You too? You're going to defend this. Daniel looked at me, then at our parents. Yeah, I am. Because he's right. Mom's eyes went wide. Excuse me. You've treated him like a failure his entire life. You've compared him to me constantly. You've dismissed everything he's accomplished because it doesn't look like what you think success should look like. We've encouraged him to do better. You've told him he's not good enough. Daniel's voice rose. Over and over. For years. And you know what? He's doing better than all of us. Way better. And you don't even know it because you've never bothered to really ask. Dad's face went red. What the hell are you talking about? Daniel looked at me. I shook my head slightly. Don't. But he was done staying quiet. He owns his own company. A successful one. He's been building it for 4 years while you've been telling him to grow up and get a real job. And that real job you wanted him to get? It pays a fraction of what he's making. You could hear a pin drop. Mom looked at me. Is this true? I didn't answer. Answer your mother, Dad demanded. Why? So you can tell me I'm doing it wrong? So you can find some way to make it about Daniel? That's not fair, Mom said, but her voice wavered. Isn't it? When I won the regional coding competition at 19, you asked why I couldn't focus that energy on real schoolwork. When I built an app that got featured in the App Store, you asked when I'd get a stable job. When I told you I was starting a company, you called it a pipe dream and suggested I ask Daniel for career advice. Dad sat back down slowly. You never told us it was successful. You never asked. You assumed. Just like you always do. Mom's eyes were wet. We're your parents. We want what's best for you. No. You want what looks best to your friends. What you can brag about at church. What fits your idea of success. Patricia spoke up quietly. Maybe we should all take a breath. I'm curious. I interrupted, looking at my parents. What would you have done if I had come to you asking for money like you claim I would? Based on track record, I mean. Silence. You would have said no, I continued. Or you would have given it with strings attached. Lectures about responsibility. Demands that I prove I was worth the investment. Just like you did when I asked to borrow money for a laptop for school. Mom flinched. That was different. You wanted an expensive one. It was $800. For a tool I needed for my major. And you said no but gave Daniel $1,500 for his car stereo the same month. He had a job. I had 2 jobs. I was working 30 hours a week on top of full-time classes. The truth just kept coming. Years of it. Pouring out. You paid for Daniel's fraternity dues, but told me community college was good enough. You co-signed Daniel's apartment lease, but said I needed to build credit on my own. You bought Daniel a suit for job interviews, but told me to check thrift stores. We had more money when Daniel was in school, Dad started. No, you didn't. I saw the tax returns when I helped you file them, remember? Your income was higher when I was in college. You just prioritized differently. Mom was crying now. We didn't mean to make you feel less than, unwanted, like the spare kid in case something happened to the important one. Daniel made a sound like I'd punched him. That's not, Mom sobbed. We love you both. You love Daniel. You tolerate me. There's a difference. I stood up. I came here because Patricia asked me to. Because I'm trying to be the bigger person. But I'm done pretending this is a normal family. I'm done acting like your treatment of me is acceptable. Where are you going? Dad demanded. Home. To my tiny apartment that I pay for myself. To my pipe dream company that's about to close a $2 million funding round. To my life that I built without your help, your support, or your approval. I walked toward the door. Mom called after me. If you leave like this, don't expect us to be here when you need us. I turned back. Mom, you've never been there when I needed you. That's the whole point. Patricia followed me out. Wait, please. I stopped on the porch. I'm sorry, she said. I should have said something years ago. I should have stood up for you. It's not your job to parent their kid. No, but I saw it. I saw how they treated you differently. I told myself it wasn't my place to interfere, but that was cowardice. I hugged her. Thank you for seeing it. That's more than they ever did. What are you going to do now? Keep building. Keep growing. Keep proving to myself that I'm worth more than they ever believed. You already have. Daniel caught up to us. I'm coming with you. I can't stay here after that. We drove to a bar and didn't talk about it. Just sat there, drinking beer, watching a basketball game. Normal brother stuff. Finally, Daniel spoke. I never knew it was that bad. You weren't supposed to. They put you on a pedestal. Hard to see the ground from up there. I'm sorry. Not your fault. I should have noticed. Should have said something sooner. You said something tonight. That's what matters. He stared at his beer. They're going to call. Try to apologize. Make excuses. Probably. What are you going to do? Nothing. Let them sit with it. Let them really think about what they've done. And if they don't? If they double down? I shrugged. Then I keep living my life without them in it. I've gotten pretty good at that already. 2 weeks later, Mom called. I let it go to voicemail. Honey, we need to talk about Thanksgiving. I think there were some misunderstandings. Some things said in anger that we all regret. Please call me back. No acknowledgement of what they'd done. No real apology. Just misunderstandings. Dad texted. Your mother is very upset. You need to call her and apologize for ruining Thanksgiving. I blocked the number. Patricia called. They're telling everyone you had some kind of breakdown at dinner. That you made wild accusations and stormed out. What are you telling people? The truth. That they finally got called out for decades of favoritism and didn't like it. How's that going over? About half the family already knew. The other half is in denial. Your cousin Rachel said she always wondered why you stopped coming to things. I stopped coming because it hurt too much. I know, honey. I know. Christmas came. I didn't go. Daniel didn't either. We spent it with his wife's family instead. It was the best Christmas I'd had in years. No comparisons. No passive-aggressive comments. No feeling like I was auditioning for love. Just acceptance. Just belonging. In January, the funding came through. $2.3 million. We hired 5 more people. Moved into a bigger office. Started planning our next product. Daniel was thriving, heading up the new development team. I should have left corporate years ago, he said one day. This is what work should feel like. Building something that matters. Building something with people who matter. Family that actually acts like family. Our team had become that. A weird little family of developers and designers who believed in the mission. In February, my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer. Hello. Hi. This is Rebecca Chun from Forbes. I'm working on a piece about emerging tech companies in the Midwest, and your name came up. Do you have a few minutes? Forbes. They wanted to interview me. About the company. The article came out in March. 30 under 30 tech entrepreneurs to watch. My photo. My story. My company. I didn't tell my parents. But someone else did. Mom called. This time I answered. Why didn't you tell us? She sounded hurt. Forbes? You're in Forbes, and we had to hear about it from Barbara at church. I didn't think you'd be interested. How can you say that? We're your parents. Are you? Silence. That's not fair. Mom, you called me a disappointment at your anniversary dinner. You've spent my entire adult life telling me I'm not good enough. You wanted me to apologize for ruining Thanksgiving because I finally stood up for myself. Why would I share my success with you? We made mistakes. Parents make mistakes. These weren't mistakes. Mistakes are accidental. This was consistent, deliberate treatment over decades. We want to make things right. How? More silence. She didn't have an answer. I have to go, I said. I have a meeting. Wait. Please. Can we have dinner? Talk about this properly. I don't know. Your father wants to see you. He's been struggling with what happened. Something in me softened slightly. Just slightly. Let me think about it. I talked to Daniel about it. What do you think they want? He sighed. Honestly, I think the Forbes article made it real for them. Success they can brag about. That's what I'm afraid of. But maybe that's their starting point. Maybe they need to see your success in terms they understand before they can understand the deeper issues. Or maybe they'll just find new ways to make it about them. Maybe. But you won't know unless you try. He was right. I agreed to dinner. Just the four of us. Neutral restaurant. Public place. They arrived early. Both of them dressed up. Mom had been crying recently, I could tell. Dad looked older than I remembered. We ordered. Made small talk. Then Dad cleared his throat. We read the article. The whole thing. Okay. We had no idea you'd accomplished so much. I tried to tell you. For years ago, you called it a pipe dream. Mom flinched. We were wrong about that. It was something. Not enough, but something. We're proud of you, Dad continued. Really proud. Are you proud of me or proud of what Forbes thinks of me? The question hung there. Dad struggled with it. That's not fair. Answer it anyway. He couldn't. Mom tried. We're proud of who you've become. The article just helped us see what we'd been missing. You were missing it because you chose not to look. We know. Her voice cracked. We know that now. We've been talking to a therapist. About family dynamics. About how we treated you differently. That surprised me. You're in therapy? We needed help processing what you said at Thanksgiving. We went to our pastor first, but he suggested we needed professional help. Dad nodded. It's been hard. Realizing the ways we failed you. The therapist pointed out patterns we couldn't see. What patterns? The favoritism. The double standards. The way we made you feel like you had to earn love that we gave your brother freely. Hearing them say it out loud did something to me. Released something. Did you mean to do it? I asked quietly. Was it conscious? They looked at each other. Mom answered. No, but that doesn't excuse it. Our therapist explained that unconscious bias can be just as damaging. More damaging, sometimes, because it's harder to fight. Why him? The question I'd never asked. Why was Daniel the favorite? More silence. Finally, Dad spoke. He was easier. He did what we expected. Followed the path we understood. You always questioned things. Challenged us. Went your own way. So you punished me for being independent? We told ourselves we were preparing you for the real world. That you needed tough love because you were strong enough to handle it. While Daniel needed gentle encouragement. Mom nodded, tears falling. It was wrong. All of it. We see that now. Do you? I leaned forward. Because from where I'm sitting, you see a Forbes article. You see external validation of my success. But do you see me? Do you see the kid who ate ramen for months? Who worked 2 jobs? Who built something from nothing while you told him he was wasting his time? Yes. Dad's voice broke. We see him now. We should have seen him then. The waiter brought our food. None of us touched it. What do you want from me? I asked. Why am I here? We want a chance, Mom said. A chance to do better. To be better. To be the parents you deserved. That's past tense. I needed you then. I'm okay now. We know. But maybe you could need us in the future. Maybe we could build something new. I thought about it. Really thought about it. I need time. Years of hurt doesn't heal in one dinner. We understand. And I need you to understand something. My success isn't permission to suddenly be proud of me. You should have been proud when I was struggling. When I was fighting. When I was building something you couldn't see yet. Dad nodded. You're right. And Daniel isn't the golden child. He's my brother. My business partner. My friend. If you want a relationship with me, you need to stop putting him on a pedestal and me in the dirt. We will, Mom promised. We're working on it in therapy. Keep working on it. Because I won't go back to being the family disappointment. I won't smile through comparisons. I won't accept crumbs of affection while Daniel gets the whole loaf. We hear you, Dad said. Loud and clear. I picked up my fork. Then let's eat. And you can tell me about this therapist. Because if you're serious about change, I want to see it. Dinner was awkward. But it was honest. They asked about the company. Really asked. Listened to the answers. Didn't compare it to Daniel's journey. Didn't offer unwanted advice. Just listened. It felt strange, like learning a new language. Over the next months, things slowly changed. Mom started texting me articles about tech industry trends. Dad asked questions about coding. They came to the office once, met the team, saw what I'd built. They didn't bring it up at every family gathering. Didn't make it weird. Just acknowledged it as part of my life. Like they did with Daniel's work. Equally. For the first time ever. Equally. By summer, I could have dinner with them without my chest tightening. Could share good news without waiting for the criticism. Could exist in their presence without feeling less than. One night, just me and Dad in his garage, working on his old car, he said something that mattered. I was jealous of you. I looked up from the engine. What? When you were younger, you were smarter than me. More creative. You saw possibilities I couldn't imagine. It intimidated me. So you tore me down? So I prepared you for a world that would tear you down. That's what I told myself. But really, I was making myself feel better. If you failed, it meant you weren't actually smarter than me. You were just arrogant. And when I didn't fail, it terrified me. Meant I was wrong. Meant I'd hurt my son for no reason. He wiped his hands on a rag. I'm sorry. I know I've said it before. But I'm sorry. I know. Do you forgive me? I thought about it. I'm getting there. Ask me in a year. He nodded. Fair enough. We kept working on the car. Just a dad and his son. Fixing something broken. Making it run again. Daniel and I took the company public 2 years later. Not a huge IPO, but respectable. We both became millionaires on paper. More importantly, we'd built something sustainable. Something meaningful. Something we were proud of. The night before the IPO, all four of us had dinner. Me, Daniel, Mom, Dad. We're proud of you both, Mom said. Equally. For different reasons. But equally. And I believed her. Because it wasn't about the money. It wasn't about the IPO. It was about the fact that she'd shown up to my apartment last month with soup when I had the flu. It was about Dad asking about my life without comparing it to Daniel's. It was about them learning to love the son they had instead of wishing for the son they'd imagined. Thanks, Mom. You earned it. Both of you. But especially you. She looked at me. You did this without our help. Without our support. That makes it more impressive, not less. I had help. Just not from you. She nodded, accepting that truth. Well, you have us now. If you want us. I do. Most days. She laughed. Most days is all any parent can hope for. After dinner, Daniel pulled me aside. You good? Yeah. Surprisingly, yeah. They've really changed. People can. If they want it badly enough. Do you think you'll ever fully forgive them? I considered it. I don't know. Some wounds are too deep for full healing. But I think we can build something new on top of the scars. Something different. Maybe something better because we're all aware of how badly it can go wrong. That's pretty mature of you. I'm 32. About time I grew up. He punched my arm. Shut up. You were always the mature one. And you were always the favorite. Not anymore. No, not anymore. We stood there, two brothers who'd survived a difficult childhood in different ways, who'd found each other on the other side. Thanks for having my back, I said. At Thanksgiving. That meant everything. That's what brothers do. Or what they should do anyway. The IPO went well. We celebrated with the team. My parents came. Stood in the back. Applauded with everyone else. Didn't make it about them. That night, lying in bed, I thought about the kid I'd been. The one who ate ramen and studied in libraries. Who built a company out of spite and determination. Who proved everyone wrong. I thought about what I'd tell him if I could go back. Probably just this. It gets better. They get better. You get better. And someday, you'll realize that their approval was never the prize. Your own approval was. And once you have that, once you're genuinely proud of yourself, their opinions matter less. They can still hurt you, but they can't define you. Not anymore. My phone buzzed. Mom, just wanted to say again how proud we are. Sleep well, honey. Simple. Kind. No agenda. I texted back. Thanks, Mom. Love you too. And meant it. Because forgiveness isn't about forgetting. It's not about pretending the hurt never happened. It's about deciding that the hurt doesn't get to write the rest of the story. 3 years after that dinner where they called me a disappointment, I'd proven that wealth changes respect. But more than that, I'd learned that respect starts with yourself. And once you have that, really have it, deep in your bones, their respect becomes optional. Nice to have, but not necessary. Not anymore. I fell asleep that night, a self-made millionaire in my tiny apartment I'd kept because I liked it, because it reminded me where I came from. And for the first time in my life, I felt fully, completely at peace with exactly who I was. disappointing or not.